So, for my art component, my topic was how different cultures view mental health and mental illness. And what I did for my art component is I looked at like a bunch of different videos and like just researched them and looked at different clips. And I found two that really stuck out to me and just focused more on my topic, like the general idea of it. I couldn't find anything super specific. But my first video was by Quay McKenzie. He was being interviewed, and he's like an expert on like looking into different cultures, just studying them, and mental health and mental illness. He's like a psychiatrist, and so he deals with different different people all over the like from all over the world. So he's pretty experienced. So the interviewer asked Quame this main question about different cultures and different like how they view, the depression or anxiety. So that's basically what this video is focused on more of. And so the interviewer asked basically, so what how do cultures see depression and anxiety? Like how do they all like know the exact like word for it? Do they all have the same idea of what depression and anxiety are? And then Quame says that not every culture has a word for depression. So like for example, he brought up an Asian culture, and in Asian cultures being depressed, they don't think of depression as like, oh, I'm so sad, like I am just super down and like I don't know, suicidal thoughts or anything like that. But so how Asians think of it, Quame explains that they they think of it as like, oh, I'm really tired or I'm really worn out, I need a break. Like they don't think of it as like I have no willpower, I'm super sad all the time, stuff like that. That Asian cultures don't really think like that. So they don't really have the word depression as their like main form of like how they see how they need to seek medical help or whatever. They don't think of it as sadness. They don't think of it as like will to like and motivation to do everyday things and like live your life. They see it as, oh, I'm tired or like I'm being overworked or I need to accomplish more and I don't feel like I'm doing that. That's how Asian cultures view depression. So when they feel depressed and what makes them quote unquote sad is when they feel like they haven't accomplished much or if they're just really tired or and how they deal with it according to Quame and other places like sources I've seen and read about is they meditate, they go to the Buddha, they turn to their religion to seek help. um they don't really go to like psychiatrists or unless they're like in America. um it's not Depression is not a universal concept. So a lot of cultures also don't believe in like depression. They don't even know what it is. They don't know the concept. They don't understand it. So it's not universal. Not everyone in the world just thinks of depression and has a concept and a grasp on what it is. Um and then when it comes to mild and moderate depression, people across the world do different things. Like if it's severe, they'll get help. Like if it's super severe, um, all cultures will like find help in some way. But so like I said, Asian cultures do meditation. Some cultures do yoga, and a lot of cultures do traditional healers. So they'll go to like witch doctors or to find like essential oils or like naturopathic things that help them out. They don't really medicate. Um, so yeah, that's basically what I got out of the first video. So just to wrap that up, basically, the main points were depression, anxiety are not they're not universal. They don't not every culture has a word for it. They all deal with how they're feeling in different ways. Um, and like Americans will deal with their problems like by going to a therapist or medicating, and they have a word for depression and they know how they feel. They feel sad, unmotivated, just no will to live sometimes if it's a severe case. And then other cultures think of it as, I'm too tired, I'm just overthinking everything. I don't feel like I'm accomplishing like my life goals and like what I need to be doing. So yeah. And then the second video is by Jessica Deer, and her title, like the title of the video for her section, was the reward of a culturally informed approach. So one of the main things she mentioned was that we can grasp a better understanding of a significant problem around the world. And by her video, I think this helped me. Like, it gave me like an outlook. Um, and then another point is that we better understand why some, actually many cultures look at mental health differently. Um, so basically, it kind of goes hand in hand with the first video, and she kind of explains more in depth than Quaim did, about how different cultures have different procedures on how they deal with this issue or the feeling that they're feeling. Um, but I think that, like, through the video, what Quaim and Jessica were trying to point out, like, at one point or another, is that, like, even though different cultures have different approaches and different words and they think they have different meanings, they all have the same, like, feeling inside. Like, they all feel the same way. They all have a certain type of mindset that makes them feel like depressed. And even though different cultures don't have the word for don't have the word depression in their vocabulary, I think everyone has like the same feeling that feels depressed, if that makes sense. And then she also mentions China. So they don't see depression like Americans see it. Most Asian countries don't see depression as a super serious thing. So if they feel unmotivated or like they're not accomplishing what they need to accomplish or succeeding in life, they will, I don't know, they won't sulk in it like Americans might. They just don't think it's very serious, like a very serious issue. So they kind of like tuck it away and like don't do much about it. They kind of keep to themselves, and if they do, if it's like super severe, they'll meditate or go see a natural healer or traditional healer. So yeah, those are the two videos I watched, and I think both of the, like, Quaim Mackenzie and Jessica Deer, both had really good insight, and I was kind of surprised because like I kind of thought depression was a universal like concept, but I guess I should have known that different cultures approach depression differently and think of it as a different thing. I don't really know how to explain it like fully. I don't fully grasp the concept all the way, but I think I have a pretty good understanding of what these two videos meant. So overall, I learned a lot, and I enjoyed this art component and the videos I watched. I think they were good videos that I picked out, and they were informative, and people who watch these videos will have a better outlook and like a better understanding of like mental health and cultures and how different cultures view mental health if people are interested in learning about that kind of thing. So yeah, I enjoyed this art component, and I look forward to the final project.